All right, good morning, Cedar Hill. So this morning I have the incredible privilege of sharing a word of encouragement with you, and it's a word that God has been speaking into my own heart. And it comes from the book of Exodus. So now one of the major themes in that journey of the Israelites out of captivity in Egypt to the land of Canaan, was God's presence. God was with them and God was for them, and that's plain to see all throughout the book of Exodus. And so we pick up in chapter 13 and verse 21. Now the Egyptians or Pharaoh has released Israel, and the Israelites are now in the wilderness. And now bear in mind, this is all very new to them. They have never lived as a free nation, let alone navigated the wilderness or this unknown terrain. And they're in over their heads, really. So in chapter 13, verse 21, we read, "And the Lord went before them by day in a pillar of cloud to lead the way, and by night in a pillar of fire to give them light, so as to go by day and night. He did not take away the pillar of cloud by day or the pillar of fire by night from before the people." You see, God was with his people and he was leading his people. They could trust him. They could look to him for guidance, and he would lead them through the day and through the night, through the light and the dark. Whatever came their way, they could trust that God was with them, God was before them, and he was leading them through. And for us, as believers today, that is our reality. In light of what's going on, we can believe and hold on to the reality and the fact that God is not only with us, but he is for us. And if we'll look to him, he will show us the way. He will help us to navigate the uncertainty and the unknown. And if we skip a little bit forward now in the story to chapter 14, Pharaoh's heart is hardened now, and he's decided to pursue the Israelites. He's called up his army and his chariots, and he's gone out after them. And the Israelites find themselves on the shores of the Red Sea with nowhere to run. They've run out of options, run out of ideas, and they believe that they're going to get slaughtered on the banks of the Red Sea. But look what it says in chapter 14 and verse 19. "And the angel of God who went before the camp of Israel moved and went behind them. The pillar of cloud went from before them and stood behind them. So it came between the camp of the Egyptians and the camp of Israel. Thus it was a cloud and darkness to the one, and it gave light by night to the other, so that the one did not come near the other all that night." Isn't it amazing that God's presence that had been leading them and had been before them now shifts and it moves into position behind the Israelites? It moves in between God's people and the danger. And that's another reality that we can hold on to and can take hope in, is that God's presence is always perfectly positioned. We can trust that God is not just with us, he's for us, and he's in the right place at the right time always. For me, that just stirred such a sense of encouragement and confidence in my God, that he is for me, he is with me, and he's always perfectly positioned to deal with whatever it is the enemy is throwing at us. And I hope that's what you guys can take from that as well. That God is perfectly positioned to deal with whatever it is that's coming your way or coming our way, whether it's COVID-19 or a host of other problems that we face as Christians and as human beings living in this fallen world. I hope that encourages you, and I hope you're well. We're praying for you, and hopefully we can get back to doing church the same old way soon. Cheers, guys.